Hello, and thank you for joining me on another Colonial RV video today. Today we're talking about something a little bit not typical to the norm on this channel. We're going to be talking about pre-owned and reconditioned RVs from us here at Colonial RV. Now, you may know us from our Winnebago and our Airstream content, but we also take on trades towards these new RVs and we bring them back to market even better than we first originally got them on trade. Our service center invests hours of time on an RV like this. I'll typically see somewhere between 6.5 hours or so for my clients for my service center to look over the RV to get it ready for my clients. And that being said, we don't typically film this type of content because pre-owned RVs may be here tomorrow, they may not be. So I wanted to start by talking about this Jayco Solstice 21B built on a Ford Transit platform. And that is very special and very cool. You don't typically see a lot of Class Bs on the Transit chassis on the market. This actually has an impressive 310 horsepower with the 3.5 liter EcoBoost motor and a even more impressive 400 pound-feet of torque. So this is a great RV for kind of getting out of its own way on the highway, and it's actually a taller profile RV. This is 10 feet just like my Sprinter van Revels, 10 feet tall and actually 22 feet long, so just a little bit longer than the ProMaster vans that we carry here. And it's nice because it's a gasoline chassis just like the ProMaster, but with a little bit more headroom inside. And we also have very attractive front lights, styled grille, but we also have turn mirrors on our side. So as we put up our left or right turn signal, this Transit's pulling that up on our display on the inside there. And it's actually a very large multimedia screen on the inside of the cab that we'll see when we hop in there. And another very interesting and arguably cool thing about these Transit chassis that are available on the market is they're dually rear axles, meaning God forbid if we were to take a puncture on either the outside or inside tire, we still have that axle support. We're still going to be able to get to a service center or a tire shop to get that repair in the event that we need it. So it's nice to see, arguably, that we could compare this closest to something like, let's say, an Airstream Interstate based on the size of the van, the height of the van, and the floor plan. So a very well-designed RV, and a lot of cues you'll kind of see across the industry. Just depending on manufacturer, they might do it a little bit differently, but with this Jayco here, it was done very well. And of course, we have a 30 amp outlet. We have a city water connection on the outside, cable and satellite input, outdoor outlets, as well as an additional solar port, and there's 190 watts of solar on the roof. And I like this, we have a waterproof switch on the outside for our dump light above our dump station here on the side of the RV. And I'm going to talk about this more when I get inside here, but it's nice to see little upgrades like a WindGuard Connect antenna and an additional solar panel. When you purchase a pre-owned RV, especially one that's been reconditioned by a service center, a lot of times you're getting the benefit of very nice upgrades that were done before the fact, and you're more so paying for the van. And it's nice to see things like, let's say, spare tire carriers, additional storage boxes that only add to the value of this van. So now when you're comparing pre-owned models across the market, you're seeing somebody who's really loved their van, invested more into it, and then you as the next buyer are only going to get to enjoy those features even more. And just to show you a little bit of the rear of the RV here, we actually can tow 5,000 pounds, and we can take a max vertical load of 500 pounds, and we already have a 7-way and 4-pin connector right here at the rear of the RV. And with the doors open, we can see we've got a nice roll-down screen like a lot of the new RVs we carry. We've got a nice little outdoor shower right out the rear of the van. And I really like how this has all been finished with felt. We've got an additional tabletops that are going to help us make the bed inside. We've got a water management system, like a smaller B&B Nautilus like I'm familiar with. Very easy to sanitize, tank fill, or just camp off your fresh tank. And something I wanted to point out, it's nice to hear a little bit of that American construction when you close those doors. And then moving along the side here, we of course have an entryway awning with a 22-foot length. This is about a 18-foot or 17-foot awning here. Has lights, of course, electronically extends out with 2 crossbars. So it's very similar to a lot of the appliances I have on my RVs here. But of course, we've got outdoor speakers, 110 outlets on this side as well. Got the exhaust ported out the rear because we do have connections and a generator between the rear axles underneath there, so no spare tire underneath in the rear. Similar, something I'm familiar with. And one more thing I want to point out before we step inside, look at these frameless windows here that open. We have a few of these on the driver's side as well as a couple on the passenger side. It's just a really nice finish that I'm not as familiar with, so it's one of those things that catches my eye when I first look at it. And of course we've got a screened entry that's going to completely enclose the cab here. It's very familiar. I've seen that on a ton of RVs, but I also love, look at the way the steps are molded into the bumper for when you get in. A nice ease of entry and exit is very nice on an RV, and it's nice to see on this pre-owned model that we currently have here at Colonial RV. So now I am in the back of the Solstice 21B, and I just wanted to talk about a few of the interior tones, because one, it's great to look at this interior and kind of see what is available in the pre-owned market. Look at how well this was cared for. We don't have any marks on any of the cushions here, or even on the walls, or these beautiful, arguably technoform cabinets like I'm familiar with in our Navion. But also, if you look here, you can see I have not one, but two tables in the back. So a lot of times when you're looking at these pre-owned RVs, there'll be things that have been added by the previous client, like I was talking about on the outside. So it gives us the opportunity to get a little more with our purchase here and also enjoy some of the things that maybe the previous client thought the RV could use and would only add to the experience. And while I'm standing in the rear here, I want to mention not only are these very comfortable seats adaptable into the front bed here, and I'll show you what that looks like quickly. But also, when we're using this as just a place to relax, we do have a 24-inch HD TV that's on an adaptable mount, so it'll pull out, face me no matter where I'm sitting here in the rear. Of course, we have a ton of storage above and slightly some behind me out the rear here. And we have positive tight latches on these cabinets, so they're not going to open when we're going down the road. We also see we have a nice radio player back here. And something that I'm familiar with on my Travados is we have these very nice both screen and cab blinds. So not only is this available from Winnebago, you can also see this on this pre-owned Jayco here in great condition. And moving forward, of course, I have a non-ducted AC above me. This is a very similar floor plan to our Airstream Interstates if you're familiar with our lineup here. We have a nice hanging closet with removable shelves. And then, of course, a nice, large and deep Norcold 12-volt fridge. And of course, love that this has a nice size freezer and even a nighttime mode that's going to cut that compressor draw so it's quieter if we're sleeping in the rear here. And I love to see we've got an induction cook plate, and we have, of course, a wireless charging pad here that also has 110 outlets. And this is a solid surface Corian countertop with even a holder that almost works like a backsplash for my sink here. I absolutely love that. Nice little storage drawer, as well, of course, our microwave in the kitchen area. And then as we move along, I still have more storage both below my countertop and a inline water filter here, as well as some decent sized storage just above. And I love to see we have a max air fan inside here. So if we're not running the generator and running our air conditioner, I can still cool down the van with this vent above me here. And just real quick to mention, this is 10 feet tall on the outside of the van, but inside I have a 6-foot, 6-inch roof height. So there might be some vans that don't work as well for taller individuals. Vans like this, or even some Sprinter vans with the high roof, are going to work better for you. So it's nice to really take a look at what's available on the market before you make a decision. And then, of course, we have a very nice wet bath here. We've got a 14-gallon black tank and, or excuse me, we have an 18-gallon black tank and a 14-gallon gray tank and a 24-gallon fresh tank on board. And then I wanted to mention, of course, we have a shower curtain in this compartment, but we also have this nice plexiglass cover on the bathroom windows here. And the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is, of course, the cab and the features inside. So now in the cab of the Transit, we are in a 350 HD Transit chassis here, and you can see that the seats have been redone by Jayco to match those rear cushions, and they are very comfortable. And it's one of the things you definitely want to have on your RV, because a comfortable seats means a more comfortable ride on your travels. We've got, as of 2023, with only 7,500 miles, a ton of the chassis features that are still available now in 26. There's only been a few that I'm aware of that they've even added. So it's nice to see, you know, an equipped, a modern day infotainment system / safety features on your RV. And also you can see up here we have another lagoon mount. So if we were going to move one of those tables from the rear up front between the drivers, we can do that. And there are some vans that we carry that also have that capability. And you can see, mentioning things that have been added and only add to the van, that this nice stained workspace surface countertop has been added right here. So in addition to a table for the workspace for the passenger, I also have this quick table, a place to store items, and it's just one of those things that adds even more to the van. And we even have comfortable storage area up here, so our cab blinds or any items that we're just trying to store out of the way. And I even have, and I love this, the ability to stand right up and not hit my head. And so I want to close right here with this G17 control unit. This is a Firefly system, very similar to what we're acquainted with on our interstates and some of our other RVs. And it'll show me real-time data as far as my tank levels, my voltages, gives me control for turning on and off my generator, and some information on my solar. And from right here, I can control a lot of my controls, as well as turn on my AC. And of course I have my water heater control up here as well. And I even have a remote for my fan, so if I'm laying in bed and I just want some airflow, I can kick that on. So of course, any RV that we sell here, we're gonna do a 2 to 3 hour orientation in this heated and cooled delivery bay here to make sure that you're confident in the understanding of all the appliances and the care for the RV itself. And if you want to see any pre-owns listing that we have on our site like this, be sure to check us out at Colonial RV and colonialairstream.com, or give us a call at 1-800-265-9019. We're very excited to show you a pre-owned RV, and if the price point of a brand new RV with full warranties is a little out of your range, this is a great entryway to get into the RV lifestyle without spending the same amount, and a certified pre-owned will at least get you started and kind of get you out there to experience what you want and what you might be looking for. So thank you so much for joining me again. I'll see you all in the next Colonial video.